Hi, hello, welcome back. In previous sessions, we have seen how to set up C development environment using code blocks and min.gw. And we have also learned the importance of good user interface for an application. But till now, we didn't start with writing any program in actual. In this video, we will see how to get started with writing C programs in real using code blocks, compile them and execute them. Are you ready to write C programs? Then let me open code blocks that I had installed on my computer earlier. This is really a wonderful application to build C programs. I hope you have already installed these code blocks along with min.gw GCC compiler. If not done yet, I suggest you to set it up first. It is not compulsory to write programs using code blocks only, but I suggest you to use code blocks because most of the programs I write to show you as examples will be built using code blocks, and it will become easier for you also to write and execute programs while learning. Now on the first screen you can find a beautiful interface of code blocks with so many menus and file management options. To start writing a C program, we must have a file opened with an file extension of .c. Before creating a .c file, I suggest you to create a folder projects on your disk drive to save all your practice programs separately so that they don't mix up with any other personal files of yours. Like how I had created a projects folder on my E drive. It is not necessary the name of the folder to be projects. It can be samples, it can be examples, any name that you like, but it should be a separate folder to save all your practice programs separately. Now to create a .c file, what you do is click on create new project icon on the main screen. This is the create new project icon. Click on that. In the next screen, on the left pane of the tab, click on files option. Then on the right side pane, choose to create C++ source file. Click on that. Then on the next screen, select to use C language for the file. Here you will be asked to give a name to your file along with full path. Click here to choose the full path for your C program. Choose the projects folder that you had created earlier. And give a name to the file. I give it a name first program.c because it's my first program that I am writing. And save it. Now click on finish. Now here is the space where you can write your first C program. At this point, I would like to suggest you one thing. It's very good practice to give the file names in such a way that the name itself explains what this program is about. See, if you are writing a program to calculate simple interest and name it example.c or sample.c, it wouldn't be any appropriate practice because while writing programs in real time also, you will be habituated to name the programs inappropriately. So habituate giving a reasonable name to your program even while writing practice programs. Like if you are writing a program to calculate simple interest, name the file simpleinterest.c, or if you are writing a program to generate a math table, name it matthtable.c. Now let's start writing a program in first program.c to print a message on the console or the screen of your computer monitor. This is a CUI based program and your output will be on the DOS screen or command prompt screen of your Windows. Firstly, I would write hash include stdio.h. This is called a header file inclusion. The purpose of including header file is to use predefined functions in our C program that we are writing now. What is a predefined function? Predefined function is a pre-built utility or pre-written program built by default within compiler and need not be written by the programmer again. These predefined functions are meant for carrying out routine tasks whose result is common. These are pre-programmed and built within compiler and minimize our effort by including them in our program. Now let's define the function main, which will be the first function that the compiler starts executing. Write in main and open the main with the opening curly brace and immediately close it with a closing curly brace. And now whatever the statements that we have to write are to be between these two curly braces. Now let's use a predefined function printf to send a message onto the console. Let's send a message, hello world, this is my first C program. Now let's terminate this statement with a semicolon. As I said, printf is a predefined program that comes built within C compiler, and to use that we need to include stdio.h in our program, which we have done at the top of our program. Predefined functions are categorized based on their utilities and put in different libraries, and in order to use them we have to include respective libraries in our program. Because printf is stored in a library stdio.h, we have included that in our program. Any predefined function will open and close with round brackets. Within round brackets, this function may take some inputs, which are called arguments in C. Printf takes a string or a literal as an argument which will be printed on the console screen when executed. Literal is nothing but a sentence put between two double quotes. Literal is combination of words or characters which doesn't have to follow any syntax. Anything that we put between two double quotes becomes a literal. See here, this is called a literal word. What are put between two double quotes, it is called a literal. Any message that you want to print on the console, use printf to do that. Now to execute this program and see the output, check for this icon on the toolbar of code blocks. This icon is a shortcut for compiling and executing the current program. You can also find this shortcut in the build menu at the top, or you can simply press F9 button on your keyboard to build and execute the program. Now let's build and execute our first program and see output. When you build and execute this program, a new console window will open where you can see the output of the program. At the top of the console window, in the first line, hello world, this is my first C program that is printed, which we have asked printf to print. The other two lines, these are by default be printed by the compiler in every program whenever we build and execute that program. For every program, the last two lines will be printed by the compiler. We can ignore these two lines. These will not be actually printed in real time when we execute using a DOS command prompt. Now let me explain you about the \n, a new line character in C. What is the purpose of this \n, a new line character? See, whenever the function printf is used, the message that is passed to the printf will be printed on the console in continuation to the last character available on the console. Now to take some part of your message to a new line, then this \n is to be used within the literal passed to the printf function. That is, if I want to take this is my first C program to a new line, then I just have to put a \n here. Now if I execute this, you can see the hello world is printed in the first line, and this is my first C program has brought down to a new line, to the next line of the hello world. The purpose of \n is this. And if you want to give a gap between C program and the process return 0, then what you do is you put a \n just after the program, and now if you execute this, you can see a new line introduced between this is my first C program and process return 0. This is the purpose of the new line character \n. Whenever we build and execute a C program, an executable file with .exe extension will be created with the same name that is of a C program in the folder where that C program exists. We can now run the application from even DOS command prompt. To do that, open command prompt using cmd in the run utility. Now change the directory to e:, then go to projects. Here if I list the files in that, I can see the first program.exe here. Now to execute that, just type the name of that first program.exe. It will just execute. See, hello world, this is my first C program is printed there. So whenever you build and execute a C program, what happens is an executable file that is a binary format file will be created, which will be understood by a computer. So in this video, we had learned how to write a C program, compile it and execute it. Hope you liked it. Don't forget to subscribe to M Coding so that you don't miss any update from us. Thank you for watching.